K Nation. Sponsored by 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Tonight on K Nation, a consensus All-American joins the show for a one-on-one sit-down. Cooper Beebe, the back-to-back Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year, tells us why he will not be opting out for the bowl game.
Plus, a Topeka native joining the Jayhawks. Why this former Big 12 foe decided to join the team down in Lawrence after a challenging year.
And for the first time since Naquan Tomlin's dismissal, we got to ask Jerome Tang some questions about that whole situation, and he tells us why he and his staff actually are looking in the mirror after how that played out. Welcome to K-Nation. Glenn Kinley, Landon Reinhardt. Still a week out from bowl games and football, also from Christmas, but the basketball has kept us glued to our screens all week long.
Yeah, happily glued if you're a KU fan. Maybe not if you're a Cats fan.
It wasn't
today.
too fun today.
No, but we'll jump right into a banger up in Bloomington. The number 2 team in the land, Kansas, taking on fellow Blue Blood Indiana. Not the best first half. Hoosiers get hot at times. KU trails by 8 at the break and as much as 13. But when times are grim, bet on Bill. First lead of the game with under 5 minutes to go. 21 points for Kevin McCullough, 17 points, 14 rebounds for Hunter Dickinson. We know Indiana's unranked, but a hostile environment. As your first true road matchup, that counts as a big win.
That's one of the best wins we've had since I've been here. That's 21 years worth of wins. Didn't play great the first half. It's a long game. You kept grinding, executed down the stretch. Really came down to us executing better than them the last 6 minutes. Missed free throws early, shot selection early. Think about unforced turnovers to start the game. Think about how many layups we missed. Think about walking out of here with a 4-point win.
Fine, Coach. You've convinced me. I'll go ahead and run through a brick wall. Hawks back home on Friday night against Yale.
Yeah, that's not an easy place to win. That's a good one for the Jayhawks.
They're loud there.
Let's talk about it. Like it or not, it wasn't too pretty, but after maybe the best performance of the season on the road at LSU, you could probably call this one the worst of the year so far at home against Nebraska. Hopefully it don't get worse than this. An ugly one. The second half specifically was not good. The Wildcats managed just 12 points in the second half despite leading by 3 at the break. K-State hit only 4 shots from the field in the final 20 minutes. Not only a rivalry loss, but it's a home loss. K-State's first of the year, by the way. And it also comes in lopsided fashion. Here's Coach Tang postgame.
I told the guys in the locker room after the game that there are 4 nights a year when it doesn't matter what the other team does, they're not going to beat you. Like, it's just those nights. And there are 4 nights a year where it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to beat that other team. It just wasn't our night.
It certainly wasn't. Another proximity rival coming up, Wichita State on slate for Thursday in Kansas City. And if you missed it, well, let's talk about this. Former K-State forward Naquan Tomlin, who was dismissed from the team. He has transferred to Memphis, and also we got to ask Coach Tang about it this week, including Tomlin's dismissal and what it means to him personally. Here's what he said.
Whenever you lose somebody that you love, that's hard. It's hard, and knowing that I'm not going to be able to pour into Quan's life every day, that's hard. You know, wish him the very best, want the very best for him. Absolutely love him. We're going to do our darndest to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Of course, he had a lot more to say than just that. And in fact, if you want to read more about it, we include it in our newscast, but you can also read about it at KSNT.com for coaches' comments on that topic regarding Naquan Tomlin. Also, Tomlin will be eligible to play for Memphis as a grad transfer this season.
Let's talk women's hoops. 12th ranked team in the country. K-State beats North Florida 79-53. I was at this game. It was slower. It was a slower start. The team got a talking to at halftime, but there's no denying the greatness that is a Yoka lead.
She's phenomenal.
36 points on 15 of 17 shooting. Only sees 24 minutes of playing time. Shout out our guy Randy Peterson. First ever player to record 36 points at that shooting rate and to go 100% from the free throw line in less than 25 minutes of play.
Thanks for the stat, Randy.
Never as easy as she makes it look. You got to fight for position. And, if it were that easy, a lot of people would be putting up numbers like that. So I think she does a great job of timing and fighting for position and great hands.
Just knowing when to get position and, trusting the guards to get it to me and then just finishing around the rim.
Pretty telling about how good you are if your name is already in the rafters while you're playing. 10-1 Cats play tomorrow against Oral Roberts, who averages 85 points a game.
The defense going to have to be good in that one.
Gonna be a fun one to watch.
Down the road, KU women's basketball. They've scheduled a really, really tough non-conference slate, but yesterday was one you probably expected the Hawks to win big in, and they did. They won big. Kansas beats Central Arkansas with a balanced attack. 10 Jayhawks on the score sheet. 8 of them score 5 or more points. What a day for senior Ryan Cobbin. She surpasses 500 career rebounds. Not yesterday, Lynn. 500 rebounds in her career. Also 1,000 career points. That happened in the same game. Here's Coach Schneider on the KC native making her mark and doing so close to home.
It's great for her to be able to be back home and to have her family be so close and be able to support her.
It was surreal, especially to do it at home in my home state. It's a feeling that I'll never forget.
And Cobbins and Zakiya Franklin each scored 11. Samaya Nichols, Tiana Jackson added 10 apiece. KU hosts Nebraska on Wednesday for its last game before Christmas and also its last game before conference play. A fun fact for you, I guess not so fun, but Nebraska beat KU women's basketball in triple overtime last year, so they get a chance a little bit of revenge.
Yeah, a bit of revenge, and that Cobbin story, pretty cool. To get to do it at home, takes your final year here.
Definitely,
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You're finally going to let me talk about football?
We can talk about football now.
Woo! We got, 5 minutes into the show, and I'm
getting impatient. You can only keep us away from football for so long. We find a way to talk about it even in the summer. Bowl games still about a week or so out, but there's some question marks, maybe exclamation points, depending on if you're a glass half full or glass half empty type of guy. Transfer portal can be scary. Let's be honest, you lose players, you start to wonder why or how you're going to replace them, but it's also a time of excitement. Avery Johnson, Wildcat fans love this guy.
Still in Manhattan.
He played during the regular season, but he was never fully the guy on the offense behind senior Will Howard for much of the year. But when he got in, he was really, really good, including that 5-touchdown performance at Texas Tech. For Chris Kleiman, though, it's not the game performances, but rather the preparation that gets him excited the most.
This kid is a sponge, and he loves watching football. The kid is a junkie, and that's what's going to make him really, really special here, is he is a junkie. And he already is special, guys. We know that. I'm looking forward to the preparation before our game to see what he's seeing and see how I can help him as well. This kid's confident, and he's going to be ready to sling it around.
Also, offensive line coach Connor Riley will call the plays in the bowl game. He's the interim OC. Kleiman says he is treating this kind of like an audition for the full-time job. Again, that's the Pop-Tarts Bowl against North Carolina State, October 28th.
And new this week in Lawrence, demolition starting on David Booth Memorial Stadium. If you remember, a $300 million revamp underway. First phase of upgrades expected to be finished by August 2025. Actual football, though, we told you last week that former Baylor offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes taking over Andy Kotelnicki's role as the Jayhawks OC. He spoke with the media for the first time this week. He says it's a unique situation to come in during the season, but listen to him talk. He echoes a lot of the things that Lance Leipold preaches.
The relationships really matter, and relationships are built on trust. And you can only trust someone if you know them. And so I recognize I'm coming into a unique situation. And the most important thing for me right now is just getting to know people. My goal would be to blend in, not stick out. When you have something that's been successful, I want to come in and hope that I can just add to that.
A message I think Jayhawk fans will like. Also, though, before you forget, Jim Zabrowski, he's going to call the plays for the bowl game. Grimes just got to town. They haven't all learned this playbook yet.
A little much.
And that's the Guaranteed Rate Bowl against UNLV on December 26th. Don't go anywhere. Some new faces coming to town in both Lawrence and Manhattan, and that's besides Grimes. K-State baseball has a big-time transfer from the Shockers, and also the Jayhawks have a new tight end from Iowa State. We'll meet these impact transfers after the break.
And later, one of our biggest guests yet, quite literally, the All-American O-line, bringing the beef, joins the show with high praise for one K-State assistant coach. That's still ahead.
Manhattan Area Technical College will help you build a foundation for your college career, like transferable credits offered in your high school, earning your high school diploma through GED completion on our campus. Break through to a new career. Manhattan Tech, providing higher education.
There is just something special about the holiday season. Spending time with friends and family and enjoying the ones we love. Sharing time-honored traditions and passing them on from generation to generation. All of us at Lewis Toyota want to thank you for another year serving you and this great community.
It's time to light up the season during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Get our best offers and choose from a huge selection of Ford F-150 trucks with the capability, convenience, and technology to help bring us together. Wow. Discover how Ford F-150 can make the holidays bright. Now, get a new 2023 Ford F-150 with 2.9% financing for 72 months. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Play It Again Sports is your golf headquarters. Come try out a new driver or iron set in our new indoor T-Turf driving cage. We offer a full range of new and used golf equipment from Cleveland, Srixon, Wilson Staff, Proline, and more. No matter your skill set, you'll find everything that you need to take your game to the next level for less. Bring in your quality used gear to save even more by trading in and trading up or get cash on the spot. We are buying all day, every day. Play It Again Sports, 21st and Fairlawn in the Fairlawn Plaza Mall.
Manhattan Area Technical College will help you break through to a high-paying career by empowering you in high-demand fields. Let Manhattan Tech help you break through to a new career. Manhattan Area Technical College, providing higher education.
And this new transfer portal world, there's going to be new faces on rosters every year. Sometimes you get a Hunter Dickinson.
That's right.
That works in your team's favor.
Definitely doesn't hurt, at least. No. Also working for the Batcats in their favor, K-State baseball landed a player from just down the road who's going to be a big impact, we think. Two-time AAC conference, all-conference pick, I should say. It's Chuck Ingram. He's an outfielder. Hit .362. That's really good. Last season, he had 80 hits, 41 runs batted in, and he's from Belton, Missouri, just across the border. He's already fitting in nicely in Manhattan, Kansas.
Always admired this program for a long time, and obviously I've played them every year that I've been in college, and so I've always respected all the players and coaches, and honestly, I think it felt like such a family when I came here on my visit, and it just felt like home, and I didn't really have anywhere else in mind. I kind of knew right when I got in the portal this is where I wanted to come. The biggest difference is just being in a college town. Baseball aside, it's been great.
He's a local kid coming home to join the Jayhawks. Well, we got another story for you. I jumped ahead of us here.
Oh, I'm so excited for it.
If you'll allow it, Deshaun Hanukkah, Hayden High School product, transferring to KU from Iowa State. He'll be an impact transfer for sure. Hanukkah, really good.
Yeah, well, it's something about those Hayden boys. You got Desmond Purnell down in Manhattan.
That's right.
Hanukkah, though, is a tight end. He's playing offense. He has 1 year of college eligibility left. He broke out with 4 touchdowns and nearly 250 receiving yards in 2022. It sounds like the new KU offensive coordinator is already helping with recruitment. Hanukkah says he got to meet Grimes and Leipold, also Devin Neal and Jalen Daniels, and simply put, felt like home.
30 minutes away from my actual house, so, you know, I can still maybe catch it back to watch little brother play basketball at Hayden. Just a lot of support around me, being a local kid. You know, I think the Jayhawks they're on the up and up. You know, they're ready to go and compete for a Big 12 championship, and I do have some unfinished business in the Big 12, and that's one of the things that I need to check off the box.
The Topeka native sat out this past fall after allegations of violating NCAA sports betting policies. That case was dismissed in October. We got more K-Nation on the way.
We do have more on our way, and we have our top 5 most electric athletes at Kansas right now. Who's on your list?
You're going to have to wait and see. First, though, I sat down one-on-one with a member of K-State's Beef Team, the future NFL draft pick, Cooper Beebe. He's our guest. Up next.
Make cashmere popcorn your new holiday tradition. Visit us online or in beautiful downtown.
This holiday, New Sound Hearing and Tinnitus Center encourages you to slow down, listen, be present with your loved ones. Your family is the reason the New Sound staff does what we do. Have a Merry Christmas.
Doughboys Pizzeria, a family restaurant in North Topeka, serving fresh pizza with our signature sauce, award-winning wings, awesome appetizers, and desserts, with outdoor dining and entertainment. Call or order online at doughboys.pizza.
Incredible savings during Vanderbilt's Christmas sale. New styles of Hey Dudes have arrived for the holidays. Check out our huge selection, hundreds in stock. Closeout on Carhartt heavyweight flannels, save $20. Sale price $29.99. Closeout on Carhartt shirt jacks, save up to $50. Your choice $49.99. Closeout on Merrill low hikers, sale price $99.99.
Work boots Santa Vanderbilt.
Devon James wins.
After a car accident, life gets tough.
At Devon James, we fight for what really matters.
You have your everyday bills and now the accident bills.
You have to get better while you're still trying to get by.
And who knows what's down the road? So call us at Devon James. We'll fight for everything you deserve.
And you don't pay us anything until we win your case.
That's our no-fee guarantee.
Devon James wins. Call 888-8888.
Every morning, today's your home for the holidays. Next week, country star Walker Hayes performs live in studio. Then, Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, and the Iron Claw cast. And Monday, Mandy Moore's here live, only on Today.
All right, this is one of our best players in all of
I got to be able to move the prompter. It helps if I have that. Let's talk about Cooper Beebe, though. Came back for a 5th year with the Wildcats, in part because he wanted to earn a spot in K-State's Ring of Honor.
I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting there. And it's an exclusive honor, but he's the 2nd straight Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year. This guy right here sat down with him earlier this week.
Let's listen in. Consensus All-American. First of all, congratulations. Second of all, what does that mean to you? Has it set in yet? Do you feel like an All-American?
Absolutely. I'm so blessed. Grateful for, all the people that have helped me get here, all the coaches, players, supporting staff that have gotten me to this position. As you know, this was my goal coming in to this season, personal goal, and just to, be able to do that and, be cemented in K-State history is just such an honor. I'm very grateful.
Fair to say that you're probably happy that you came back for your last year. I know you could have probably been taking snaps at the pro level this year, but you're happy that you decided to come back?
Oh, absolutely, no doubt.
I want to ask about Connor Riley and what he means to you. I know that you guys decided to come back to do one more year with each other, but also because you guys all love him. How much has he impacted you as a person, as a player?
I love him to death. Be around him every day is so special, and just the way he goes about his coaching. He's a hard-nosed coach. He's going to demand excellence, but he loves you. He's going to yell at you, but he's going to let you know that he loves him, and it's just a character of who he is, and I love the dude to death. Taking a wannabe DT and turning him into an All-American, I think that just kind of attests to who he is, and I think he's a super underrated coach and one of the best coaches I've ever been around.
You came here to play defensive line, and was it 3 stars out of high school? Is that what they were giving you?
3 on some, 2 on others.
Okay.
Yeah.
From winning the Big 12 title to consensus All-American to Big 12 All-Lineman of the Year twice. Was that even a thought that you had?
No. So when I first got the opportunity here, I was just hoping at some point in my career I'd see the field, just to play a little bit, and as my career came on, I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm pretty good at playing O-line, and I just continue to be at it, and then here we are now. Never in my dreams did I ever think I'd be in this position, but I'm just very grateful, and the people that have impacted me on the way here.
You've had some big blocks this year, and throughout your career. Do you have a favorite block? I know was it the one against Houston that really
it's got to be.
Up?
It's funny. I mean, I'll probably see that for the rest of my life, and that'll be a staple of K-State hype videos for a while. There's been a lot of pancake blocks at my time here, but I think it's hard for that one to not be the number one spot.
Do you have moments mid-game or even mid-play where, I don't know if it's a DB or a smaller linebacker coming at you, where your eyes light up and you're like, oh my gosh?
Yeah, so anytime I pull out to the perimeter and you kind of see the DB kind of back up and know he doesn't want the contact. If you can, the hardest part is getting a good shot on him. But when you do, you usually get blocks like that. So it's always my favorite.
One of the biggest things I think maybe not a lot of people are talking about is you guys have had a lot of transfers and you guys have had a couple guys to go for the NFL draft, but the whole O-line playing in the bowl game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Well, why is that? I'm assuming it's kind of a similar decision to why you guys all decided to come back for one more year.
Absolutely, and I think it's just a test to the culture we have around here. The guys in the locker room, especially the O-line, man, we're so tight, and we know this is all of our last college game. So we're gonna go enjoy our time down in Orlando and have one last ride with the boys.
There's an offensive coordinator opening. Connor Riley's name's been thrown around. I think he's calling the plays for the bowl game. Is that a role you would see him being fit in, or you want him to be fully devoted to the O-line, or do you have thoughts there?
No, I think he's going to do an exceptional job. Just knowing who he is and how smart of a coach he is. I don't think people outside of this building, give him enough credit, and you know, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people with how he calls plays, and I'm actually, you know, super excited for him. Like I said, you know, he's one of the best coaches I've ever been around. So for him to get that opportunity, it's just phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what he does with it. And that's, you know, that's honestly one of the reasons, you know, all of us O-line came back. You know, we want to help him, you know, help catapult his career, and you know, that's our way of doing it, is playing in the bowl game.
What do you see, I guess, that makes you confident that K-State football is in a good place?
I think just the growth. You know, I was Coach Kleiman's first class, and just to see where this program has gone from 2019 to now, it's just exceptional. You know, the standard here just continues to rise, and you know, I think we've got ourselves in a pretty good spot, you know, just with where the culture is and where the standard is, and I think that's the reason, you know, K-State's going to succeed for years to come.
A lot of NFL teams will be looking at Cooper Beebe, wondering when we should pick this guy, where we should pick this guy, should we pick this guy? What do those teams need to know about you?
I'm a dude that's going to be, you know, grateful for the opportunity. I'm going to go out there and compete and give it everything I got. You know, that's how I made myself. You know, I was never given anything. It was always earned, and you know, I think, you know, if you give me a chance, you know, I think you'll be surprised at, you know, what I bring to the team and what I bring to the program.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Coop. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in Orlando.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Always appreciate the time from the big fella there. Hey, we're going to change things up after this break. Instead of a member of the media in studio as a guest, we're doing some power rankings. You don't want to miss it.
Top 5, that's right. Talking Jayhawks after this commercial break. Get your list of the best 5 athletes currently at Kansas, and then compare it to what we drew up when we come back.
2023 Country Stampede was a blast, and now is the time to renew tickets and camping for Country Stampede 2024. Call 785-539-2222. That's 785-539-2222. More Country Stampede announcements coming soon.
Hi, Clay Sherwood, Swims and Sweeps. I'm here with Frank and Dean, the CEOs of Cute. We have Hearthstone wood-burning stoves and fireplaces. We have electric fireplaces. So let Swims and Sweeps keep you warm this winter.
Welcome to Jingle House. The Jungle House has transformed for the holidays. With so many unique gifts to choose from, our shopping experience is sure to be fun. Join us for special events, all in the cheerful spirit of the season. Jingle House, 6 East 7th Street, Lawrence.
Memories are created every day, and those memories can make a house feel like a home. The children's height changing over the years, the hundreds of backyard barbecues, and, much to Mom's dismay, that time Petey unrolled an entire roll of toilet paper. Any agent can help sell a home, but a realtor can do more. Find homes for sale in Northeast Kansas and a Sunflower Association Realtor member that's right for you at sunflowerrealtors.com.
Hi, this is Voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you will be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. For 24/7 non-judgmental support, just call, text, or chat 988.
2023 Country Stampede was a blast, and now is the time to renew tickets and camping for Country Stampede 2024. Call 785-539-2222. That's 785-539-2222. More Country Stampede announcements coming soon.
Welcome back to K-Nation. Christmas just around the corner. We're going to mix it up a little bit and have some fun. You heard from Cooper Beebe before the commercial break. Now it's time to talk Jayhawks, and specifically about the most impressive Jayhawks.
Yeah, we got to put a little disclaimer on this. We don't want any angry emails. There's so many good
happy emails only.
So many good emails. So many good athletes at KU. We could have come up with a list of probably 40 or 50, and that's without even looking
I would
up
have had
stats
60
or
yeah.
maybe 70. There's so many good athletes. So don't think if we left anybody off that we don't think they're impressive. We might even give a few honorable mentions at the end, though. Let's jump in, though. And, Landon, if you got a guy whose nickname is the Real Deal.
And if he's just from down the road.
I mean, he's from Lawrence, Kansas. He's been a huge part of this program turnaround. Devin Neal has been phenomenal for the Jayhawks. He's one of our top 5. This list is in no order, by the way. The Real Deal Devin Neal runs in touchdowns. He does it all. He's unselfish.
He took the Wildcat there.
He never has seemed to care about Daniel Highshaw getting some snaps there, too. A guy who was so impressive as a freshman, and then since then, it's just gotten better each year.
Well, and I'll say this. If you watch him, he passes the eye test every time, but he also has the stats to back it up. 1,200 rushing yards this year.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen if you're not good.
Of course, we're waiting on a decision from Devin on whether or not he'll be back next year or if he'll go pro. and tens of thousands of fans in the stadium every week for football. Some other athletes might not get as much attention, but we got one guy who we're going to call a friend of the program because we really like this guy.
Well, if you break a record set by none other than Jim Ryan, you're going to be on our list. Chandler Gibbons. If you don't know Jim Ryan, you should. An all-time great distance runner. Chandler Gibbons, a school 5K record holder, along with a bunch of different marks. He's just an all-around great athlete. I'm sure to excel even on the basketball court.
Yeah, it seems like he's earning a new award every week. We're going to fly through these as we run out of time here a little bit. But let's talk about a Topeka native, one of 2 Topeka natives on our list.
Let's talk about the best point guard in Lawrence.
Cameron Turner is legit. She's awesome. I watched the highlights from one of their sets in the NCAA tournament, and I said to Landon, it seems like she passes on every single point they score. She just about does.
Well, and she gets those assists, too, like a true point guard. And I tell you what, I made it out to Horse Arena a couple times this year. The place goes nuts whenever she touches it.
They love Cameron Turner.
They love Cameron Turner. We do, too.
As they should. All right, we'll go to basketball for this next one.
Basketball.
16,300 show up and cheer on the Jayhawks, and they love Hunter Dickinson. And Hunter Dickinson might actually like getting booed in opposing arenas as much as he likes the cheers in Allen Fieldhouse.
It's like a power, but it's like a Mario mushroom. It makes him play stronger.
He's really good when he can take on that villain role. He's not the villain in Allen Fieldhouse, though. He's making people really, really happy.
I mean, look, he's signing an autograph.
He's living up to the hype of that double or that 20 and 10 they wanted. I think he's doing maybe more than that on average. Hunter Dickinson has been as advertised for
And we
KU.
got one more, our other Topeka person, Glenn.
Casey Hamilton, the pitcher for the Jayhawks. She's been a staple of KU softball. They're turning around this program slowly but surely, and she's been a massive part of it in the circle regularly, in the circle all the time, striking out batters all the time. We love watching Casey Hamilton.
The day one starter, complete game almost every time. I know that softball players can go longer, but it feels like her arm would never fall off. She's like an Iron Man.
Her endurance is crazy. If we started to name more athletes, we would run out of time, and also then we'd be really in trouble for leaving people off. Stick with us, though. We're going to wrap up this show and send you home for the night after this break.
Need your fireplace inspected? Make sure you and your family are safe this winter and avoid being a statistic. Certified Fireplace and Chimney now has openings as soon as this week. No need to wait months to be seen. Call or text us today to schedule your appointment.
As 2023 comes to a close, we want to take a moment to remember some of those who chose to join the Lewis family this year and share some joyful moments with us.
We're the Lewises, and from our family to yours, Merry Christmas.
Because McCray Plaza has been family-owned and operated since 1975, we are able to make decisions that keep you independent and in the game.
Get a game plan and join the winning team at McCray Plaza.
This year, let Ford make the holidays bright. Go over any type of terrain with Ford Bronco Sport.
Hey, Dad.
How's the weather?
All good.
And the Ford Explorer with available seating for 7. And with power on demand in the all-electric Ford F-150 Lightning, well, that's how Ford is making the holidays bright. Now, get 1.9% financing for 66 months plus $1,500 cash back on a Ford Escape, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Fidelity State Bank and Trust, Topeka, empowering customers since 1922.
Debbie Orr, Senior Vice President and Consumer Loan Officer at Fidelity Bank, with reasons to have your auto loan right here at home.
We are offering competitive rates and terms on auto loans. Contact one of our friendly associates and we'll make it easy.
Fidelity Bank, we do business right here at home.
Everyone dreams of having a stunning fireplace for their home, so why not make your dream a reality? Certified Fireplace and Chimney specializes in making these dreams come true. And now, with in-home renderings and no interest payment plans, it's never been an easier decision. Call or text today.
Sometimes we talk sports betting at the end of the show, but we're saving up for the Christmas presents.
I got to buy some gifts for my family.
If you want a cool gift, we might have an idea for you.
Well, K-State's marching band took old uniforms and turned them into pillows you see there. They were selling 300 of them at $125 a pop, but they sold out in minutes, Dr. Trace told us.
I guess if you don't have one, you can't get it for a gift. That's my bad.
Well, you can't get one until February 2024 when they go out again. Funds will go towards instrument repairs after the band played in that snowy football game against Iowa State.
Yeah, we might need some repairs after that game against Iowa State.
I know my feet are still numb.
No kidding.
And I was inside watching
that
game.
weekend was a crazy one. Hey, thanks for watching, K-Nation. We'll be back next Sunday with a Christmas Eve edition. We hope you'll join us then.
I can't imagine what's going to still happen in the next 3 to 5 years. And I think we're just scratching the surface of what's going to happen.
Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.